We love interesting developments here at UK theme parks, and Tornado Springs, Paulton's Park, is starting to come to life. Now, we did a video a couple of months back from construction from the park when we were there to kind of show the scale of what this is going to be. And the park have teased it, and we left you to kind of come up with what the hashtag TSTB stood for. A couple of you were already on the ball because there is actually Twitter accounts for it explaining what it is. But for those who haven't seen it, let's go through it, and indeed, let's go through the recent announcement, complete with graphics, of what we could be expecting in 2020. So, first, let's start with it. TSTB is Tornado Springs Tourism Bureau, and it does look like the area will be called Tornado Springs, quite simply as that. Here's some of the bits that have come out today. So, want a different vacation? You can have this real adventure. Opens for tourist visits the very first time on May 2020. So this isn't something that's going to be open at the beginning of the season. Paulton's Park do like to open things in May. They like to make sure it's up and running, looking perfect, thoroughly tested, open. And that's exactly what they're going to be doing with Tornado Springs as well. We then have a little bit more. We have Tornado Springs, exclamation mark. Enjoy a visit to the Brayton world famous Tornado Springs in the Midwest and experience a family getaway like no other. Travel a route of adventure of this calming desert resort town and discover how friendly local folk have harnessed the power of the elements. First choice for travel-wise travellers. And this is where it starts getting really interesting, some of the silhouette graphics which the park have put on. So the first one, join the storm chasers as they reveal their quest to capture the perfect storm. We will come back to it, but you can see their roller coaster track. Tame the wild river and take an exhilarating ride down a breathtaking Buffalo Falls. We have water ride. See traditional and not so traditional farming and power generated out in the crooked countryside. We see a couple of things there, a couple of different things. We then have visit a legendary Owl's Garage and test some of the latest drives. Enjoy a taste of the way out at the Jesse's Route 83 diner. And then, of course, family fun awaits for you in friendly Tornado Springs, where blustery days and cool evenings, delightful entertainment, or lazy living enjoyable. Treat yourself, pack your bags and prepare for an experience like no other. No passport is needed. See your travel agent. Contact now Tornado Springs Tourism Board at Tornado Springs. So a couple of things we'll look at first. This actually hasn't been announced by the park so much. It's not on their feeds, it's not on their website yet. This has been announced on one of their alternate accounts on Twitter. So if you're not following those accounts on Twitter, we're going to leave them in the description below of what they are. This one came from at Tornado Springs. This is kind of the official account for it. And there are only 156 people following this development. Bearing in mind this is likely to be the biggest theme park development we have in 2020, it's kind of gone unnoticed, even though there is some beautiful, honestly, some beautiful artwork and some, cracking PR going behind this. We're 15 months away from opening, and the park are really, really going some on it. Now then, we're going to bring your attention back to the first picture and what we can see. And as we have a zoom in here, we'll put the images up here for you. There's a couple of things you can see. One, you can see a pendulum ride of some description. It looks a bit like one of the Zamberla ones. It actually looks like the inverted one that we went on down in Dreamland. I very much doubt it is, but that's what it looks like. You then have dual drop towers, which is it's quite interesting because they just got rid of two little drop towers, and these look like circular ones, and these look a bit like magma. Question is, will it be relocated? There's bound to be some rethemed rides in this area. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure they would need to, and indeed they would want to be relocating that, but we're not 100% sure. And then, of course, next to it, you will notice round. You will notice a round cars on a roller coaster track in threes, potentially fours. So this is the rumoured Mack spinning roller coaster, and Mack have been heavily associated with this project. We'd heard Zamberla were heavily associated with this project as well, but the graphics certainly give away a Mack spinning coaster. Now, a couple of days ago, we have here, they put this out before the announcement, and you can only take so much from it and then go back and read some of the bits. So severe weather warning, as you expect, valid until 5 p.m, which is when they made the announcement on Valentine's Day. Area affected, Tornado Springs. Now then, there's a couple of things to look at here. Storm Mac could be related to some kind of name. Will go 7 miles east of Tornado Springs, moving at 55 miles an hour. Now then, a lot of people are already speculating that this will be the speed of the roller coaster, and whether or not this will be a launch roller coaster will be interesting to see, because Mac do spinning launch coasters as well as non-spinning launch coasters. 55 miles an hour is quick. It's a quick ride. Is this Paulton's territory? I don't know what height restriction these come in at, to be honest, but I fully imagine they've got to be around about the 1.2 mark. Is this an avenue that Paulton's Park want to take? We're not really sure, but it definitely relates to the roller coaster. Severe thunderstorms capable of producing a tornado, flying debris, dangerous to those caught in shelter, mobile phones will be lost and destroyed, damage to roofs, windows, and other vehicles will occur. Take cover now, move to the basement. So it is definitely on about the tornado. And the Tornado Springs is going to be highlighted by this roller coaster, which looks like it will be a max spinning roller coaster. That's what the image kind of goes to. So the first one we look at, that's what we think it's going to be. And the fact the tornado's in the picture, you've got to be thinking this is related. 55 miles an hour, I really hope it is, because that will be something else just on my doorstep. Second one is Buffalo Falls. We've got no reason to believe that this won't be the name of the ride, Buffalo Falls. It's a log flume, and we've been saying the park need a permanent log flume for many, many years, and of course they are developing, massively developing, and I wouldn't imagine that they will relocate the log flume to this area. The log flume which they have is a travelling model. It could be themed up. Actually West Midlands Safari Park have done quite a good theming job on theirs, but I just wouldn't expect it. I would expect a custom built log flume to be heading into this area. And if they're not, and they are retheming this, I believe it's open this year, the log flume, without too many problems. They would have to relocate that and theme it and probably change it up and make it look better during the closed season, but I don't believe they will. I think this will be a brand new log flume. I'd be very surprised if it's not. And then we talk about relocation rides. The third picture shows the tractor. Now we would expect the tractors that are right on the edge of the new Tornado Springs and Peppa Pig World. We would expect that to be incorporated into the area. Whether or not they need to move the station, change the track layout slightly, will be interesting to see. I would be expecting that to close over the winter period, not necessarily early, and I'd expect that to be closing then, and kind of that will be part of the area. And it's worth noting actually on the water ride as well, I wouldn't think this is Wave Runner. I could be wrong, it could be Wave Runner, but I think it will be a log flume. But we don't know. This is where you guys can come in and start speculating as well. Going back to the third picture, there is definitely a swinging pendulum ride, which is, again, this will be, you would think, quite a large ride. Whether it'll invert, I doubt it'll invert. I really, really doubt that it will invert. But it's going to be a swinging ride. This carries a 1.2 height restriction as a general rule. So this looks like it's going to be an area certainly for the family thrill market. Now, we've just had an extension to Peppa Pig World. Obviously, the rides they put in beforehand, even in Lost Kingdom, even though they're quite big roller coasters, have been well received by families because of their low height restriction. And, it's driving people to the park. This just takes another step. Now, these actually don't have the drop towers in them. Although the original one has the drop towers in them, these don't have the drop towers in them. So again, what are they going to be? Is there more behind the scenes? We'll have to wait and see. Visit Al's garage and test drive some of the latest drives. Is that going to be a ride? Is that just going to be a little games area? We're not 100% sure. We do know there'll be a new diner. One of the diners is actually one of the Twitter handles, which you can follow. Description below. Have a look. But there's a lot going on here. So Paulton's Park are teasing this area, and it looks spectacular. You'll see the train running through the middle as well. As we kind of said, the train isn't open for 2019. The track has been removed, but it certainly looks like it might play a key part in the redevelopment of that area and go through it. But what do you think? What are you thinking? What do you think the roller coaster will be? We're quite set on what we think it's going to be, but again, what do you think it's going to be? Leave it in the comments. What do you think the pendulum ride's going to be? There's not very many small ones. I'm really interested to see what kind of route they take with that, whether they go for a permanent park model, whether they go for a travelling model. I'd like to think they go for a permanent park model, which again kind of limits the ones they would go for. Drop towers, you know, are they going to relocate Magma and add another one to it? Do they need another drop tower? Let us know your thoughts. And then, of course, the water ride. You know, will it be just a retheme of the Wave Runner, which I have to say I'll be a little bit disappointed, bearing in mind I'd love to see a log flume in there, or are you expecting a new log flume in there? We know the train will be coming back. I believe the farm rider, there's no reason to believe they wouldn't retheme the one they've got. It will fit perfectly in that area. But there is a lot going on at Paulton's Park, and as you know, potentially this is a game changer. If you've got a couple of family thrill rides opening, you've got a max spinning coaster to go along with what they've already opened, the massive Peppa Pig world, this is a game changer. This is a game changer for the family theme park market in 2020. And you know, with Chesington and Legoland less than an hour away from them, there's something's got to give here. Merlin have got to be looking at Paulton's Park thinking, you know, these are all original ideas. There's you know, Lost Kingdom was an original idea. Critter Creek was an original idea. Tornado Springs is an original idea. And I understand Peppa Pig World, but I mean, just look what it's done for them. Just look what it's done for them. You know, this hasn't been a short-term game. This hasn't been a short-term anything. This has changed Paulton's Park, and it's changed the way they're able to invest in areas like this. But what do you think? Are we on the mark? Are we not on the mark? Let us know in the comments below. Drop us a like, and remember to subscribe, because we're going to be following this all year long. We'll be heading down to Paulton's Park. We'll be getting some construction along the way as well. So let us know what you think. My name's Adam. This has been UK Theme Parks, and we'll see you next time.